To call to order the Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, Brooklyn City Board of Education regular meeting. Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale.
Here.
Mr. Hubbell.
Here.
Ms. Rafter.
Here.
Mr. Hasrouni.
Here.
And Ms. Krall.
Here. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In order for the board to fulfill its obligation to complete the planned agenda in an effective and efficient fashion, a maximum of 30 minutes of public participation as it pertains to school-related topics will be permitted at each meeting. Each person wishing to address the board will approach the podium and state his or her name and address. If several people wish to speak, each person will be allotted 3 minutes until a total time of 30 minutes is used. During that period, no person may speak twice until all who desire to speak have had the opportunity to do so. The period of public participation may be extended by a vote of a majority of the board.
Good evening, you guys.
Hello. Good evening.
Justin Fincham, 4744 Autumn Lane, and I'll get right to the point in 3 minutes. Kind of what I'm learning as the last time we talked, and now it kind of goes into, I was reading about the Cup-Patterson Phase 3 being phased out. And that's, as far as I know, that Matt Hoffman, kind of sent me emails, giving me information, so I'm learning as I go. And the way they're dug in, let me be clear about politics. I'm not red or blue. I don't care about a donkey or elephant. None of them dictate my dogma or how I think. I think both are, so I'm just giving the lay of the land as the state is. The politics, so what they're saying, they're not gonna decide till March or April. So if we don't know, this goes back to open enrollment. So with the state, with the SSP, how do we even know the money we're gonna get? They're gonna dig in the sand right now, just because it's red. With everything, the political climate as of today, there's no way they're at the apex of their power. There's no way they're gonna roll over and just go back on that phase 3 of that Cup-Patterson. Right now is when they're gonna have, like when you have the hammer, they're gonna swing it. So that being said, if it financially doesn't make sense with open enrollment that time at that 1900, where's the money gonna come from? They're gonna play hardball, and if anything, they're gonna stick to their guns on it. So if basically what I would say, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, the students we bring in, is that money gonna be here? And if it isn't, why wouldn't we look at tuition? Like I said, whether it's lower or thing, that way, like I said, you have skin in the game, and you balance your books, you know that amount of money is coming in. Nobody here can say what's gonna happen in March and April down in the Ohio Assembly. Like I said, now, you even got that Vivek Ramaswamy running for governor, who just led that Doji thing, the bureaucratic cutting. You think he's gonna give more money to the public schools if he wins? There's no way. That's one of the things they're gonna cut. So my point is, if the alternative funding is tuition, I think it's a viable thing just to balance books, because if not, if we get that, cut that money, which we don't know till April, by that time we're gonna take in all the new kids. And like I said, I love all kids. This isn't, I'm loyal to my soil. I have a fence around Brooklyn, and that's how I operate. And I understand the big picture, but we don't know the financials of the big picture. Nobody does. And like I said, especially now, as it's so red, there's no way that they're gonna give that inch. If anything, they're gonna expand that voucher program. If anything, they're gonna expand, give that money. Like I just got an email today about the HB 11. If they do that with politics where it follows the kid, it's gonna be like that Hungry Hippo game where schools are just trying to gobble kids because of that price tag on each kid. And that's probably where it's gonna go. I have no problem with like faith-based schools getting the money. I think charter schools are a problem because they don't have their books open. But what I'm saying is it's not a Brooklyn problem with our seats. It's a state legislative problem. I don't see how affecting us as citizens in the small community, bringing it outside if the community is opposed to it, how that fixes that problem. Because in the end, if you got to come back, what that means is you got to go to your tax base, more levies, excuse me, ask for more money.
I think that's what you're at 3 minutes.
Okay, I don't know if you want to burn that bridge.
All right, you have another 3 minutes if you want.
So, I mean, also, what I'm just saying is, yeah, the vouchers, like I said, the 91,000, only 3,200 of those are new. It was people already involved in that. So I just want to know, with the open enrollment, is there any way to get a committee so we have a say in it? Like whether it's, I know some small communities do strictly superintendent, assistant superintendent, but I mean, I'd be willing, like school administrators, some teachers, department heads, community reps, parents, so everybody's vested. And I think it goes a long way because at the end, you feel like everybody knows everybody. Like if I don't know every kid's face or name, I know their face, I know the parents, you say hi, you see a giant eagle and marks. So I just want to kind of be like not, oh, here's your new kids, here's, another thing with that. We can have, with high school kids, Officer Dan's there, I understand, but 100 or 80 new kids, you're going to have tensions, especially among boys. Is that an issue where we're just keeping one resource officer? Are we going to add administrative staff to figure all these applications out? So financially, I don't understand if the 1,900 for sure is not going to be there, nobody knows, then where's the gain for us? As a community, where's the gain? To put butts in seats? We've got, like I said, we fluctuated 50 students over the last 5 years. And exact words, we've been stable. I've heard stable multiple times. So what's changed to where if it doesn't financially benefit the kids and people already here? That's it. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry. All right.
Okay, then moving on to the superintendent's report with Dr. Clare.
Thank you, Ms. Krall, Board of Education. Real quick, a quick amendment to the agenda. If we could move items 9.2 and 9.3 right after item 7.1, because then we would just go into executive session, finish executive session, and then adjournment. That was on me, I should have put that in ahead, but that would be my only recommendation before we begin, just to amend the agenda very quickly to move those up to 7.
Just need a motion,
I
correct?
would need a motion from the board.
I have no problem, motion.
I'll second.
Motion.
Roll call?
Motion to amend, right?
Okay. We still need to take a vote?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Shearhart, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Ms. Krall, just a couple comments and a couple announcements before I turn it over to Ms. DeLees and our administrative team regarding our presentation. Cold day today, another cold day tomorrow. We have our brave student who made it here today, and so I'm sure that's with some coaxing from mom, but as a reminder, we are not in session tomorrow, no activities, no practices. We will, based on the forecast that I see now, we will be back in session on Thursday. So thank you to all our parents, families, students who've been patient with that. Couple of things, Hurricane Heritage Week it starts next week, and this is kind of the culmination of a celebration of all the culture and heritage that we have in our district. And I always like this stat. We have 15 spoken languages. It might be more, but 15 spoken languages in our district. And next week kind of begins the celebration of all our cultures that kind of embody who we are in the district. So very excited for that. That being said, I want to turn it over to Ms. DeLees and leadership team. Talk a little bit today about one of our strategic plan goals is to look at our advanced curricular program, which includes our gifted students and our students who achieve at high levels. So ask Ms. DeLees and the team to put a small, short presentation together. Obviously, we have a couple students here. We have our gifted intervention specialist here, and we're very excited that they've braved the conditions to be here. So, thank you very much. Very excited for what we're going to hear.
Yes. Well, thank you, board. Want to thank our team here that's going to be presenting tonight, along with our students. So. Everything that we do in the district really is from that team level and looking at how we can better serve our students in ways that we can do that. And one of our goals from our strategic plan, it comes from the academic achievement and growth, it's pillar 1. And one of the action steps this year was defining and supporting opportunities for our higher achieving students. And so when that becomes a goal, there's lots of, if you look at that data-driven instruction wheel, we use that quite frequently in a lot of decisions that we make. And when we start looking at how we're going to define and support opportunities, we really have to dig in and we have to evaluate what our programming is, what our staffing is, what are our results with our students, and then talk about ways we can refine it, ways that we can get better at supporting our students. And one of the things that came out of this, and you're going to see this tonight in the presentation, is our gifted students. In second grade, they get a test, and they're identified or not identified. Fifth grade, there's another test. They get identified, not identified. Now, throughout the years, parents or teachers can request that type of testing. But if you're only given that test, say, normally twice a year, you're kind of like in that path, right? But what do we do for our students that might not test in? That's a small percentage, but they're high-achieving students. How do we make sure that our pathways and our programming are available for those students so they can easily move in and out of a pathway if necessary and not have to wait for it? So what I think tonight, what you're going to see is some very intentional discussions, thinking about our students, thinking about our staffing, and planning for our next steps. You're going to see a lot of programming coming up in here, new exciting things that we've added to our course of study. And so I'm just excited to be here tonight sharing the wonderful things that we actually are going to put into motion and get moving. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to the team.
Thanks, Ms. DeLees. Thank you, board. Thank you for having us here today. And in aligning with what Ms. DeLees said, you know, some of the things that we really had to look at were our goals. We've got our strategic plan, we've got our action step, and now what? What are some of the goals, specific goals that we need to focus on? One of them was to offer rigorous academic programming for all students, you know, kindergarten through 12. And in that, we had to look to see, analyze to see what do we have already, and where can we actually do some revision and make some additions and change things up a little bit. The second is to increase access for our higher achieving students. You know, we've got some students who are identified as gifted, and then we have some of our really higher achieving students who kind of missed the mark a little bit by a couple of points and are not identified. However, they're really performing at that high level. And the third was to inspire students really to identify their strengths and then to achieve their maximum potential. And we really feel that early intervention and early just education is so key for that. So we added some tools like Naviance, and we started to give some career interest surveys early on to our students to see where their interests lie and what they're interested in. And so then, I'm gonna change it over. Ms. Rush Scott is going to talk a little bit about just gifted versus high achieving and just students.
Hi. So they just asked me, the team just asked me really quickly to kind of talk about the difference. There's a very nice chart up on the screen for you as well. One of the things that I wanted to talk about in terms of gifted was the fourth bullet point down, that may struggle with routine tasks. Gifted students very often think very deeply about something but cannot remember where their homework is, or forgot that there was homework, or did not remember that there was a test yesterday. And so gifted kids are often kind of, they don't remember because their brains are already somewhere else, right? They've already thought about they are like 7 steps ahead. When you're talking about your high achievers, those are the students who, their consistent effort, their ability to follow directions well, they're often what teachers would identify as gifted because they're the ones that kind of sit quietly in their seats and follow all the directions, whereas your gifted students always have their hands up and have 7 more questions, right? They want to know why we're doing this and where we're doing it. Both sets of students learn very quickly, have an advanced vocabulary. You can go deeper and wider with them. They have a higher level of comprehension and the strong critical thinking skills. So there is a lot of overlap, but they are slightly different. And so they asked me to kind of talk about that a little bit, because it is very appropriate to have those students in the same classroom together because of that overlap.
So I wanted to just briefly mention our 25-26 Gifted and Enriched Service Plan. We're excited because I think we're extending a little bit here for our kindergarten to second grade. Really that's the time when kids are really focused on foundational skills and learning who they are, and teachers are getting to know them and working on social emotional skills. And so, we really believe that a differentiated instruction with the classroom teacher is really the best approach. But, we are going to extend some consult and support services from Ms. Gresh-Scott next year to be able to work with our teachers to support some of those students who are some of those high flyers at the younger ages. And so a couple of ways that we thought we could do that is maybe by adding some project-based learning opportunities. Maybe they're working on thematic units and all collaborating in a holistic, interdisciplinary approach. And she would act as a resource. And I think Mr. Lee's already mentioned that we do our second graders take the NNAT test as a whole group to gauge whether they're identified or not. So that's the first opportunity that they're getting. It's in second grade. For 3rd through 7 services for our higher achieving students, we're going to continue to focus on differentiated coursework in ELA and math. We're going to have the co-teaching model in ELA and math, with Ms. Gresh-Scott going in to do push-in with students. We offer advanced ELA and math courses starting in grades 5 through 7. That's something that we made a change with and added 5th grade last year, or this year actually. We're also going to, again, offer consult support services with Ms. Gresh-Scott, not just math and ELA, but also in other areas, whether it's science, social studies, math, all the other areas as well. And then again, we offer our whole group gifted testing in grade 5 with NNAT to identify students at that grade level.
It's me again. So our question here is, why push in 3-7? What makes that an effective option at Brooklyn? And there's a couple different reasons. One of them is belonging and collaboration. I would still use ICE time to
Scott, can you define quickly push-in for?
Yes, so push-in is co-teaching. So right now I have my own small group of 3rd and 4th graders who I am the teacher of record for ELA. And what is being proposed is that I would co-teach with a 3rd grade teacher, a 4th grade teacher, and then continue to co-teach with the 5th through 7th grade teachers that I am working with this year. And so I would still pull the students on my caseload for ICE time to do robotics and passion projects and the youth entrepreneurial pitch competition that we're doing this year and other specific enrichment opportunities for those students. But it also means that those students in 3rd and 4th grade would be able to work and collaborate with other students inside their classroom and not just with their small group of students. They would kind of have a wider net of students that they could work with on projects and in groups. The co-teaching model also allows for enhanced differentiation because the 3rd through 7th grade teachers are so great that now there are 2 of us in the room and we can do really amazing things. We're able to collaborate. I can pull small groups if I need to, not just of students of my caseload, but maybe other students who are showing promise in the topic that we're talking about. In terms of accessibility, it allows for more students to access some of the programming that I head up, like the Stop the Hate workshop that you're going to see some students present on in a second. It allows me with the optimized gifted programming and the professional growth with staff, since we're adopting a new ELA curriculum in the fall, it really allows me to make sure that we're utilizing all parts of that curriculum. Both the curriculums that were piloted have specific gifted components to them where you can push students further. And so co-teaching and being in the classroom means that we can make sure that we're using all parts of that curriculum to really reach students where they need to for growth. And then specifically with the professional development, we found in 5th through 7th grade that the co-planning for teachers has been really successful this year in terms of I actually meet with the teachers and we plan lessons together. I am also a person who grades papers in class and writes lesson plans, and we really work closely to make sure that all the students in the classroom are getting advanced coursework and really being challenged in their ELA life. So I have 4 students, but 2 of them couldn't be here. So we're gonna let the 2 students who are here present first, because I know they're a little nervous. So we're gonna let them, me too. We're gonna let them present first. So they participated in the Stop the Hate workshop in January through the Maltz Museum. They do a competition every year for 6th through 12th grade. They're very excited because in middle school, the first place winner wins $400. So I know all of our 7th grade advanced students were invited, and then we had 6th grade students who were by invitation. So there were about 30 students total that participated in the workshop. And we did poetry this year. They also do an essay competition. And so these students worked for 6 hours over the course of 2 days with some presenters from Lake Erie Inc. to think about what makes good poetry, and then write their own poetry around how kindness can be a shield for hate. So that was kind of their prompt. All right, who wants to go first?
Nodded.
Okay, Elena, you're up. All right. So you're gonna stand right here, be nice and loud. I'm gonna get out of the way so I'm not in your pictures.
Kindness can go a long way. People staring at me, wondering why. Why could she be crying? I was put in a seat next to the new girl, didn't know her name, didn't know who she was. She slipped me a note. I stared at it with a confused look. I grabbed it. The note read, "Are you okay?" I look again, but a different expression this time. I look with a face of happiness, a face that enlightened me, a face that changed my day. I wrote on the note, "Thanks for asking," with a smile. I didn't expect to feel better. I didn't expect that a little bit of kindness could have changed my day. The rest of the day I was chill, a girl on the beach chill, not the cold kind, the calm kind. Echoes in my ears, waves crashing. I felt the warmth on the beach shining on me as if this feeling was awesome. It was. This friendship is important to me. This friendship comforts me. It comforts me. When what she did filled me with a happiness never felt before. She showed me that a little bit of kindness goes a long way, and that this friendship is one of a kind and made my day.
It's done. It's finally done. They shook hands on it. All the countries are finally under the UN. No more war, no more fighting. We are all humans, trapped on this pale blue dot. Everyone agreed. Humanity can be one. I'm still wondering how this happened. What came over them? Who saw the wrath of Mother Nature and decided division isn't worth it anymore? I can now wake up in the morning, the sun only now shining fully through my open window. I can now safely walk outside, not having a care, knowing that people won't kidnap, hurt, nor even think bad things about me. No discrimination, no judgment, no shame, no hate. If you were to smile your best and say hello to your neighbor, they will smile their very best and greet you back. If you were to go to school and accidentally drop your textbooks, one of your peers would be glad to pick it up. I can walk home safely without the fear of cars honking for me to go faster, or hearing the deafening sound of yelling and arguing in the parking lot. This unity shields us from what is coming, and it prepares us for what is about to happen. When humanity realizes we are all one species, all one force trying to make our way into the world, not even our thoughts will be corrupted, not one insult. It is done.
Oh, I don't know why I'm saying that. So that is Elena and Ms. Fortuna's 6th grade class, and Joslina and Mr. Dixon's 7th grade class. And then the next slide has 2 more students who couldn't be with us today. And so I actually got permission to film them so that in case they couldn't come, we could see theirs. And that is Jax in 7th grade, Mr. Dixon's class, and Addison Sneed in 6th grade, Ms. Fortuna's class. So can we play that? Do I have to switch slide? I wasn't sure who was doing that. I'm so sorry.
I can do it. Totally fine. I'm going to attempt this.
You can do it.
I can do it.
You should just be able to click it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, we can't hear it.
That's okay.
I did not grant
do not wear a dress, I am not the perfect child. If I do not get awards, I am not the perfect child. If I do not get honors, I am not the perfect child. The hurt, the pain, the emotions, all sorrowful, all anger, but never peace. After all the pain goes numb, my mind, the battlefield, smoke clears and the duel ends. But the strokes of the brush against the canvas soothes me. The paint on the canvas honors me. Away the dress flies, fluttering in the wind. Away the words go, firing down the drain. Away with my grades, disappearing into the smoke of the fire that burns within me. Alone I sit, the scrape of the brush against the canvas. The colors honor me, not my mother, but the young woman everyone sees and respects. And the little girl that sits inside, the child I wish I could go back to, but I cannot. But the more I think, the more my mind wanders. The more the pain fills the canvas. The more I see myself as the pressure of the deep water slowly draining. The thin air of the mountains thickens, allowing me to breathe for once. But the more I paint, the more I rise to the mesosphere, burning away the burdens, burning away the pain. And although it burns away, the ashes still remain. But still, the paint on the canvas reflects not the ashes, but myself.
When I was little, I dreamed of doing great things. I dreamed of helping people. I dreamed of being a leader. Yet I never thought I would have family and friends tell me I couldn't do it. It's too much schooling. She won't win. She's not outgoing enough. I couldn't bear the hurtful words that were said. The words washed over me like waves crashing on a sandy beach. I wanted to give up, but I didn't. I kept going like my life depended on it. I never slowed down once because I know if I did, I'd prove everyone right. I blocked all the hateful words out, and I pushed and cursed. Now I'm Vice President of Student Council. Never have I thought that I would get this far, even though some of my friends and family told me I couldn't do it. I had strangers, teachers, and my real one friend tell me I could do it. With their kindness, I opened the door back up with open arms ready to take on any more challenges that come my way.
Thank you to everyone who was here. Look at Mike displaying again. My technical, there we go.
Change the slide.
Change, that's what I was doing.
Go down to the left corner.
No, look, it's go.
There you go.
There we go. I'm not touching anything again. Thank you.
No. And then the next slide here, what we're going to talk about a little bit is just expanding these opportunities for our students going forward. And so how would you think about this slide is access and success. So what are we doing in order to increase the opportunities that our students will be able to take courses that are more advanced, your AP courses, your CCP level courses? And what are we doing as a district in order to ensure that they're going to be successful when they reach those courses? So we analyzed our current programming, we researched possible course offerings, we took a look at areas that we felt we might have room for growth in terms of meeting our students' needs, and then we also looked at what staffing we had available for us and their interests, their licensure areas, and things like that. Oops. So you'll note here, all of these new courses that we have in the pre-AP courses are all brand new courses. So everything on the left half of this table is going to be something new for this upcoming school year. And what I think is really cool, and the thing that I want you guys to focus on most, is going to be these pre-AP courses. So we talked about getting future success, and we get to have access to all of these courses, and these courses will be embedded in existing coursework as well. So we'll be adding things like pre-AP Algebra 1 to our Honors Algebra 1 courses. We'll be adding pre-AP Biology to our Honors Biology courses, so on and so forth down that line. And we get to have access to these pre-AP courses because we've decided to bring on 2 what they call access courses. So by adding AP Seminar, which is going to run in our ELA 2, Honors ELA 2 course, and by bringing on board a course like African American Studies, we'll be able to actually reach a broader audience for our students and be able to expand these college and these college preparatory courses and things like that for our students. And the thing that I really like, and we've been expanding these courses over the
last 4 or 5 years as well. So I think it's important to note that this isn't something we're just doing this year, but this is continuing to build on the success that we've already seen in these programs. But the thing I really want to make sure that we focus on is just the cost saving that this provides for our students. So when you're looking at a school like an LCCC, you're talking about almost $200 a credit hour. When you're talking about CSU, you're talking closer to $400 a credit hour. We've had a partnership now for those CCP History 212 and 213 with Ashland. Well, they charge over $600 a credit hour for these students. Our students, by taking these courses, by having these accesses on property here, we can save our kids anywhere between $600 and $1,800 towards their next step. And I think that's really, really important for us to focus on. So at any rate, the point that I wanted to make here is just we're excited about offering some of these things for our students, and by increasing these course offerings and making sure that we have more classes available for all of our students to take and to be successful as they look forward to what they're going to be doing next.
So continuing with this, we really work to find opportunities not only to show off our students and give them the opportunity to show off their skills and their various talents, but we also try to find opportunities for them to be able to learn and grow and find out and help them find out what is important to them and what their interests are. One of the ways we do that is through various enrichment activities and different student clubs. So some of these have been going on for a while. Some of these are programs that are new to us this year or the last couple of years that we're growing in, and our student participation in these programs is also growing. Power Up the Pen, I'm sure you've heard that as we recognize students here, has been going on for a while. It's a writing enrichment program for our students. A lot of these programs start with our gifted students, but we do open a lot of these opportunities up to some of those higher achieving students and some of those students who may not be either but have shown a specific talent in a specific area. For example, in this case, Power of the Pen with writing. Our robotics program is getting better and better. They're starting to win some awards, and the interest in that program is going as well. We also have a variety of honors programming through the National Honor Society. Our National Junior Art and National Junior Honor Society start as early as 6th grade and have very specific requirements for those students to be part of that. Students work very hard getting recommendations from teachers, recommendations from other adults. Their grades come into play, but even beyond that, their character comes into play. Their participation outside of the classroom comes into play. So a lot of those things have to do with academics, but also not academics. And again, as we look to find opportunities for those students to show off their talents and grow in those areas. A new program for us this year is our coding program, which is both at Brooklyn School and Brooklyn High School. It's called Kids Who Code. Super excited. They're going to have their first meeting on January 27th. So our teachers, our sponsors have been kind of recruiting and building interest for that. So I'm excited to see what that turnout is going to be at both levels. Our esports program, as some of our new renovations are happening, really excited about that program because it gives, again, a greater grasp of our students to kind of participate and be involved in activities and clubs and things that we have here to offer. And next week, we will be starting our spelling bee, which ties in directly to the Scripps National Spelling Bee. So our students are very excited. Our building winners will then go on to regional competitions, state competitions, and hopefully it'd be pretty cool to see some of our Brooklyn School students on ESPN on the Scripps National Spelling Bee. But again, as we continue to build opportunities for our students, these are some of the things that tie into not only their interests, but into their growth as well.
Great, thank you. In going along with yesterday being Martin Luther King Jr. Day and finding this great quote, the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. And I think Johnny was talking about that when we talked National Honor Society and things that, if you look at our strategic plan and our portrait of a hurricane, we're not just focused on academics. We're focused on this whole child concept and where we can meet them. You know, we're meeting academic needs. We're meeting some social emotional needs. We're wherever our kids are, is where we're meeting them to get them ready to be successful for when they leave here. You know, we don't do our job if they don't leave Brooklyn City Schools prepared for whatever life brings for them after high school, but whatever that may be. And so we're excited about our programming. We think there's a lot of great things. When you look at the pre-AP, that's that pathway to give kids access to going into AP courses to be more successful when they get there. With that comes a lot of training. Our staff, the conversations that, you know, Mr. Larson brought up, our staff is on board. They, you know, piquing their interest. What do you need me to do? So this summer, we are going to be very busy with some professional development with College Board to get all of those courses in and aligning that curriculum. So we are that. I want to thank the team. I want to thank our students that came, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Any questions to move on?
Good job.
Yeah, so I know you guys are here if you want to leave, unless you really want to stay for the rest of the meeting. It's an exciting, no? Okay, they're leaving before I even said anything, so that's even better. You enjoy your cold day, everybody. All right.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
That is my report, Ms. Krall.
Thank you. And then we'll move on to Mr. Shepherd and the treasurer's report.
Good evening. I'd like to report that the investment income for December was $86,800, bringing the year-to-date to $527,048. We've received about 51.7% of our revenue expected for the year. On the flip side, we have spent about 45% of the budget for actuals. For the month to date, the revenue compared to the expenses were higher than the revenue at $971,000, which is expected because our revenue is seasonal based on the real estate income and everything. I am also happy to report that we did receive the first advance. Because the real estate bills went out late, we only received 60% of the advance. Normally we receive 90%, so it was lower than actually everybody expected in Cuyahoga County. The other thing is the tax budget has been filed with the county. I should be getting that approved, the approval for that back in probably the next couple of weeks. I do have farther down on the agenda, I have for approval an appropriations amendment, so that will be coming up farther down. Let's see. The actuals compared to the budget, the revenue is trending about $280,000 more than what the budget was. So that's good. That basically means we're getting more than we expected. And the expenditure is trending about $260,000 less than what was budgeted for. So that's actually pretty good. So I'm a little conservative when I do my budgets and estimates. So it's good that it's coming in higher than what I thought, and the expenses are lower than what I expected. So. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to comments from board members and board committee reports. And we'll start with Ms. Rafter.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you to our administrative team for presenting as well, for our two students who were able to come in person as well. It's great that we have the technology that the other two students could be a part of it. So many good things. I love the fact that, we're talking about meeting kids where they're at, whether you have that gifted child or that super high achieving child, we need to meet them there. Oftentimes we talk about the kids' needs, need for intervention, and I see just as another form of intervention to help kids get to where they need to be. I only have one report. Ms. Krall and I today we attended the Wellness and Family Engagement Committee with Mrs. Jones. so many good things. You see the, what the presentation was today, talking about the academic part, and boy, do we, we have some talented students here. But, we also talk about the social and emotional needs of our students in our district. And to see the things that the committee is engaged in talking about and the planning that goes on in regards to partnering and looking into partnering with Metro Health, grants that we were able to apply for and obtain. We talked about, just general overall wellness and the things we are able to do, interventions for our students, interventions for our families. I think, I think that our community, like was said by one of our residents, Justin, we all know each other, and oftentimes we're going through some things that maybe families go through or students go through, and it's good to know that here in Brooklyn we have the resources and we have the staff, we have the programming to help support our students and our families with any type of social emotional needs. So really that's all I have. I'm very grateful that to listen to the students present today. It's really, I love it when kids come and present. So that's it. That's all I have, Ms. Krall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hasrouni.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Want to congratulate President Krall for re-election to President of the Board, and love working with this board. Great people that have the students in this district their number one attention through every decision we make. So I want to thank you all. I had a favorite speaker. I won't tell you which one, but they all did great. So I'm very happy to hear that. Dr. Clares and I have talked several times since I got on, even before, about the gifted program, and to see what the leadership team is coming up with and what everybody's putting together. I mean, it's blowing me away. So I'm very excited to see what it's going to be like when my first grader gets up there. So thank you so much for that. I want to thank Justin for coming out here. He was very vocal at the last meeting we had and vocal today, and appreciate any feedback we get from the community is good feedback. And I appreciate your openness to talk with us. And again, like I told you before, we're always open to have a conversation. So thank you very much for coming. Want to invite on Thursday, this Thursday, the 23rd, from 6 to 9. The Chamber of Commerce is having a networking event at the TGI Fridays from 6 to 9. It's $25, unlimited appetizers, and two drinks are included. It's open to anyone, so you're more than welcome to come and network and get to know some of your businesses in Brooklyn and some residents as well. So wanted to bring that out. And stay warm. It's freezing out there, so please stay warm, and we'll see you guys back on Thursday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, first I want to thank everybody that spoke today. Admin and students did a phenomenal job. Like Karam said, we love seeing where the gifted program is headed, especially as my oldest is kind of working his way through it. I felt like Mrs. Greg Scott was talking directly at me about my son with the struggling with routine tasks part, because that part hit home pretty well. But
we all struggle with it.
But I mean, it's all making a lot of sense. Committees, today we met the Alumni Association. It is just kind of getting started, kind of building from the ground up, and we're making a lot of good progress. The first thing that we have locked down is we are going to do a Hurricane Alumni Tour, kind of the old facility, on April 5th. Kind of get a chance to look back at everything sort of before it gets done, and then we'll circle back around, kind of post all the cosmetics, and take a look again. But it's kind of one last chance to get alumni here to kind of walk through everything that they've walked through before and take a last look at it. Again, that'll be on April 5th. Everybody is welcome to get involved, alumni. Our next meeting is February 18th at 5:15 in the Treasurer's Conference Room. Please stop up if you can. As the new liaison to the rec board meeting, we did not have one this month. It was supposed to be today and it got pushed out, so we will have one next month. And the finance committee met last 2 Tuesdays ago, and I just kind of want to hammer out, especially as we vote on the renewal levy today. Just to kind of throw the facts out there, again, it is a no new taxes renewal levy. And because of the 20 mil floor, pass or fail, it will not affect residential taxes. So it's imperative we pass it, because if it fails, we basically allow all the companies in Brooklyn to keep $750,000 that we could use for our schools. So instead of letting them off the hook, use that as a chance to help us out. Yeah, so thank you, everybody, and that concludes my report.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Commissioner
you.
Neale.
Congratulations, Madam President. First thing, Justin, thank you for your insight. Community members are always, I love when people stand up there. I have no issues with it. So thank you for your insight. Secondly, how about that presentation? Outstanding. Great job. Tell those kids, there's no way in the world I could have did that in 5th, 6th, 7th grade. So kids were outstanding. This past Friday, I had the opportunity to volunteer at the financial literacy class. It was pretty good. It was very interesting. They had, I don't know if you guys saw this, the kids make so much money, and every month they have to do their bills. There's about 12, 13 different objects they have to do. Buy health insurance, auto insurance, buy a house. It's pretty interesting what those kids have to go through. It's a little wake-up call. I think it's a wonderful thing. Financial literacy in schools probably should be more and more each time, and I think that's where it's going. It should be. So I had the opportunity to volunteer. I think they were 8th graders. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, 8th graders. Thanks. But anyway, there was probably, I don't know how many, but there was quite a few of them, 70 or 100 of them, and they had to go to each table and explain it to them, and it was very interesting. I did it last year too, and it's a good thing. So, looking forward to that. The last thing is, we had our first meeting with our new superintendent, Polaris. Everything went well. Basically, it was just like our meeting, went through the motions, organizational stuff like that for the first time through. I was elected vice president, so we'll have a dinner there again, or maybe a little meeting or so. You guys aren't invited. Anyway, I'm trying to think what else I got going there. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. So the Domestic Relations Commission met last week. We had quite a few new members and people show up, so it was very exciting because it's been kind of a lull the last couple of years. They had some great ideas to bring different awareness into the community, collaborate with the school, because previously they did not have, and I mean way previously, they didn't have much luck collaborating with the school, and I said, hey, we'll get it done. Using Key Club for, to bring awareness to the students too, and do some community engagement with different kind of collections, and different, having different speakers and stuff like that. As council liaison, they did their organizational meeting. Mrs. Pucci is again the council president. The only new thing that I found interesting was that they are trying to look into a leadership program to collaborate with the school or all the schools to bring in, it was really hard to read, but to bring in students to get them acclimated to, I guess, lack of a better term, politics, but it was on first reading and I think it needs some work. Thank you to everybody who came to the Wingding on Saturday for post-prom. They did pretty good, and it was always a fun night. And next is night at the races. Post-prom, helping post-prom, so I'm plugging post-prom. They need baskets, basket donations. The sports do too. Every ticket that goes in the basket, they get $1. They get that $1 for the basket. I can't really say what kind of baskets go good, but I'm sure you could figure out which baskets go good. Post-prom is also accepting some other donations. If you are interested, I can let you know what those are. And I think that's all I have. So thank you. So we will move on to minutes of approval of minutes and financial statements. Allison.
Okay. Okay, be resolved that the minutes of the Board of Education meeting be adopted and all action taken by the Board of Education at said meeting is hereby reaffirmed and approved.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves of financial statements of receipts and expenditures for the month of December 2024, including all purchase orders paid and all then and now statements for the month as submitted.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the second reading and adoption of the following board policies
As noted.
as noted.
May I have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
The result of the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the Brooklyn High School Program of Study for the 25-26 school year.
May I have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorize the superintendent to enter into a primary service agreement with the Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County per Ohio Revised Code 3313.843 for the school years 2025-26 and 26-27. Attachment. Agreement in the file in the treasurer's office.
May I have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
And Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby acknowledge the student listed below as having completed all graduation requirements for Brooklyn High School and therefore approves the graduation of said student effective 12/19/24, Aiden Baston.
May I have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Congratulations.
Yes.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the employment of the following classified personnel for the 24-25 school year as noted.
May I have a motion,
So moved.
please? May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the additional hours assignment as noted for the following classified staff personnel for the remainder of the 24-25 school year.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education accepts with regret the retirement of Katie Kushler, effective at the conclusion of the 24-25 school year.
May I have a motion, please?
So
May I have a
moved.
second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
The Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby commends Katie Kushler for her years of service to the students of Brooklyn.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
Thank you and
it.
congratulations,
I've known
Katie.
Katie a long time, and she is just amazing person, always willing to fill in, and she's kind of filled a lot of different roles in her years in Brooklyn, and so Katie will be absolutely missed next year.
I have a lot of fond memories of Miss Kushler growing up, friends with her son Donnie, feeding me popsicles and swimming in her backyard. So thank you, Miss Kushler, for everything.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby amends resolution number 24-12-354 to reflect the additional unpaid leave of absent dates for Diana Turk as noted below.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves unpaid leaves for the following classified employee, Elizabeth Taylor.
May I have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
May I have a second? Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
And Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the following persons for the 24-25 school year supplemental assignment with the provision that such individuals comply with all the rules and regulations and State Department of Education regulations pertinent to proper certification and fulfills a requirement of the job description attached to the supplemental contracts, contingent upon successful completion of background checks and credentialing. Intramural sports supervision for Travis Agnew, Logan Hennings, Megan Barrow for indoor track.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
It's a new venture for us. Right now, we have about 12 to 15 students interested. Minimal practices here. Mark has set up some practices at Spire Institute, and all the competitions are at Spire. So just trying to give kids more opportunities, minimal cost to the district, and just hoping again to continue to engage kids in different type of activities, and again, get them ready for spring season, wherever that may be, whether it's softball, baseball, or track. We want to give kids opportunities. So I compliments to Mark for getting this up and running.
As the last indoor track coach, these guys got some big shoes to fill.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Don't make me laugh.
Mr. Hasrouni?
I see, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I can't stop laughing.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the application for the following student advisory fundraiser on file in the Treasurer's Office, Brooklyn High School Poppin' Popcorn Fundraiser.
May I have a motion, please?
So
May I have a
moved.
second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
I'm sorry.
Corral.
Okay.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Who's asking
Mr. Neale?
second? You will
Yes.
call.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Mr. Rafter?
Yes.
And Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the amended appropriations number 1 for fiscal year '25.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Be resolved that the Brooklyn Board of Education approve a resolution declaring it necessary to renew an existing 6-point mill tax levy for the purpose of current expenses and requesting the Cuyahoga County Fiscal Officer to make certain certifications pursuant to Section 5705.03 and 5705.21 of the revised code as noted. Resolution on file in the Treasurer's Office.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Hold on, I'm sorry. I have a question. So I want to clarify, based on the tax levy. So Rob or Ted, Dr. Ted, whatever you guys want to do. So whether or not this fails or passes, the taxes, because we hit the 20 mil floor, the homeowner will still pay the same tax amount.
The same amount, yes. What would happen is, if it were to drop off, we would lose the levy money from the Class 2, and Class 2 is commercial and industrial. So the district would lose $750,000 because of the 20 mil.
For the next 5 years.
Per year, yeah. Once it's gone, it's gone. So if the board decides to put it on in May and it fails, we can put it back on in November. If it fails, January of '26, that would drop off. When that drops off, that money is gone. We would have to do a new money levy after that point to have money come back into the district. It would have to be approved.
So in January, God forbid it fails twice, January, the homeowner will still be paying the same tax amount.
Yes.
But the schools will then lose.
We would lose the $750,000 on the commercial and industrial properties.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
This will be 7.2, other business, Ms. Krall.
Oh, yeah, they're backwards.
Yep, we amended it, remember, we
No,
amended it.
9.1 and 9.2 are backwards.
Yeah. Yes. they
Okay.
are. Yes,
I was
they
like,
are.
wait a minute,
Yes,
I have
they
something
are.
to say.
Yes, they are.
Anybody else have other business before I start?
You have a lot to say?
No, I just have one thing to say.
Yeah.
It was something that came up after the last meeting. I know you and I have talked about it before. I wanted to revisit, because you know more than I do, I want to revisit consent agenda.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about what that means?
Consent agenda, what it means is the treasurer and the superintendent puts the agenda on the board, and they go over it. We don't read each item. And then if an item we vote on the whole package. The whole package. And if you want to pull something off, we have to pull it off, and then vote on it separate. But
And there are also certain things that cannot be approved in a consent agenda. That would be outside of the consent agenda as well.
Why are we bringing this up?
Yeah, why we?
We've talked about this in years past because I'm with 5 other schools, and we're basically the only school that does it this way.
I see.
Just
I'm sure
instead of-
some of the other educators have been the districts that do the consent agenda, so.
So Dr. Clares would just read
So I would go.
all the line items, and then we vote
2.1,
once.
right, 2.2, 2.3, I would go through, ask if there's any questions on any individual, any of those, very similar to what we know, but it just kind of packages them together, and then, yeah, so.
So we still go over each one, we just don't.
We don't read each
We don't
item.
waste 15 minutes reading each item and voting each time.
So do I.
How do we sign up?
Usually the first.
Oh, I thought you like this one. I was like, well, then you can read forever.
No, I like that. I like the.
So, no, I just wanted to bring it up as a discussion point. I don't know where to go after that, but
Okay.
just bringing it to your attention.
All right.
Yeah, it's a simpler,
Because the last meeting was like an hour of reading,
Yeah.
so.
Is there still like room for our comments? And
yeah, that doesn't change, it's just, it's all the voting items.
Oh, no, I'm removing your comment.
So Rob would put all of his items together, treasurer's consent agenda, superintendent's consent agenda. There's still opening comments,
Everything's
presentations, and then,
And we would pull out
board
any
business.
sort of like,
let's say you didn't want to
Like-
vote on someone, or someone's confrontational and they were in a group, we could pull them out and vote on them, so.
I just meant like the individual stuff, like the thanking Ms. Kushler or things like that. Is there still room for those
No.
comments? I'm not talking about like
Yeah,
general.
Ted would go over that, we would comment it during all that stuff and just,
no, the only thing changes is the
Format.
yeah, the format.
So if it's recommended that we employ somebody, or somebody's gonna become something, I mean.
Ted would go over that. Ted would point it out. He'd go, "Hey, we're gonna, human resources." At Polaris, we do human resources, and it says, okay, we got to these are the people we're hiring, this is the reason why.
It doesn't
change anything
It doesn't
here.
change the structure of the agenda. Like, you're still able to see personnel recommendations,
Yeah.
administrative recommendations. It's just from a procedural standpoint, the Board of Education, so I'll go through all those items, procedural, then I will say, recommend approval for the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Motion,
There's
second.
There's
and
a
you vote.
paragraph you read.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I like it.
It's a little, it
Do
is,
we have to decide right now, or can we think about it?
do anything you want. She's president, she brought it up.
I just wanted to bring it up as a
Yeah.
discussion point. I just
Let's
put
see.
it in your head. Think about it.
All right, let's think about it and we'll talk about it. I like it.
That's all I got.
Can I just?
No,
one-
I already asked if anybody
I know, but
had
then I
other
thought of
business.
something. So I just want to bring up, I'm sorry, the levy. I had a bunch of conversations at our work sessions and with Rob and Ted. I hate that we're in this position, that we have to, either way, we're going to lose the money. So it's one of those things that we have to put the schools ahead of, anything else, the kids. And, I'm going to encourage that we look into this. If you have any questions about what we talked about with the levy, please call Rob or Dr. Ted and talk to them, because it's important that we pass this one. Because to lose for nothing makes no sense to me.
Mr. Hasrouni, just as a point of information, district will be sending home factual information regarding the levy, what does it mean, cost. So that'll be in our next newsletter. We'll also make that information available on our website and available to parents. So over the next 2-3 months, we're going to be kind of circulating that hard copy information to our families and our community regarding what does that renewal levy mean for kind of the big picture. So we'll be doing that, and again, Rob and I will make sure that the board sees a draft copy of that before we send it out, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you do anything with the consent agenda, I'll send you guys a copy of what we just had last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Right.
I was gonna say, like for example,
Yeah.
consent agenda, my consent agenda would be the minute approval and the financial statement approval rolled together. So instead of doing individual, it would just be one and done, basically.
Good.
It's more efficient, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Definitely.
Anything else?
No, ma'am, thank you. Sorry.
May I have a motion to, wait, no, hold on. That was way out of.
So we're going to do
The announcement of the next meeting is Tuesday, February 4th, in the Treasurer's Office Conference Room 9200 Bidoff Road in Brooklyn, Ohio, at 6:15 p.m. Now I can adjourn and then okay. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
May I have a second?
No,
Wait.
we're going to executive session.
I thought you said 9.1 before 8.1.
Those went to
Now we go back to
7.2 and
A1
7.3.
and then
Now we're on
You know what,
8.3.
I am not paying attention. I'm
A1 to
doing my own
9.3.
thing now. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education recess into executive session pursuant to RC 121.221 to consider the appointment, employment, promotion of a public employee. Upon conclusion of this executive session, the board president shall gavel the board back into open session at this location. All matters discussed in this executive session are designated to the public officials and employees as confidential pursuant to RC 102.03B because of the status of the proceedings and/or the circumstances under which the information will be received, and preserving its confidentiality is necessary to the proper conduct of government business. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neale?
Yes.
Mr. Hasrouni?
Yes.
Mr. Hubbell?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Krall?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful night.